The Financial Survival Network, helping you survive and thrive in the new economy. Go to CarrieLutz.com and sign up for 30 free micro trainings on financial survival.
1490 WGCH. This is Carrie Lutz, and you're listening to the Financial Survival Network, which is brought to you by Miles Franklin. They've been in business selling gold and silver for over 20 years, and I'm a customer because when you buy, they ship. For more information, find them on the web at milesfranklin.com or give them a call at 800-822-8080 and get a free quote. Gold, silver have been getting slammed for the past 2 days. Gold is down under $1,600, silver down under $30 an ounce. Is this a great buying opportunity, or is it truly the bursting of the precious metals bubble? With me now, Ty Andros, TraderView.com and TedBits.com to explore the ramifications of the latest precious metals blow up. Hey, Ty, welcome back, and always great to talk to you. So what's your take on things?
Well, it just depends on if you want to act like a weak hand and get your head handed to you by banksters, or if you want to act like a central bank and be smart and beat them at their own game.
So you think this is truly a golden opportunity, no pun intended?
Actually, it's an opportunity we've rarely seen in the last 10 years. And, everyone, the sky is falling, but you have to understand that the people that are giving you that perspective are dyed-in-the-wool Keynesians, and they believe that worthless little pieces of paper called U.S. dollars are money.
Oh, you mean green stamps? Green stamps, yeah, right?
And they believe that something that is printed endlessly and will be printed endlessly can rise in value against something that's scarce and actually been money for 10,000 years.
Yeah, well, there were people who believed that the earth was flat and that we'd never make it to the moon. I guess there's people that still believe that we never made it there, but I'm kind of the opinion we actually landed there. But here we are, and as you say, crash report, it's a glorious day, blue light special. And this
Gary,
is, yeah.
I've prepared 5 different slides for us, ones that are just going to take you to the big picture.
All right.
And ones that allow you to sit there and not have to change your underwear today. And realize that, when it's a glorious day, it's one of those days when when those worthless little pieces of paper actually can buy more than they did yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's all these pullbacks are. I mean, they're opportunities to do what von Mises called the indirect exchange, where you exchange worthless little pieces of paper for real stores of value and wealth. And if we go to the first slide, Carrie, I've
got it.
Put up the Austrian true money supply.
Oh, that looks like a picture of my portfolio holdings. No, not really. I think that is the true money supply. And what constitutes the true money supply, and why does that make a difference to you?
Well, the true money supply has got all the distortions and misinformation from the Treasury and the Fed taken out, and it's put together by the von Mises Institute, and it really shows the true state of the monetary base.
It's going parabolic, huh?
It is parabolic, and of course it's going to continue. We've seen, depending on which bank you look at, well, you can look at the German central bank. Their balance sheet is up 800% in 4 years.
Wow. The
ECB is up 350%. And of course, these are only the beginnings, because part of the reasons gold's going down today is it's margin call day, because people have to cover their bad bets on Spain. And Spain is in the process of getting to the point where they're going to have to announce, they're trying to say it's going to be 58 billion, but it's going to be 158, if anything, $1 billion rescue of their banking system. And I believe it's going to be more like 350 to 400 billion. Really? And so, there's lots of money printing left. We're going to see some hocus pocus from the ECB. How do we get this money there without breaking this, that, or another stupid agreement? And it's just the beginning. There's trillions to be printed. Gold's the most despised bull market in history. And that's why, because what it is signaling the demise of paper. Mm-hmm. And we're in, a classical currency and financial system extinction event. And before this is over, 80% of the world's wealth will be transferred to 20% that have put themselves in the proper positions. And the proper positions are in hard things. You have to understand that the people that really play the game, they're masters at shaking everybody out at the low and buying their holdings off them at low prices and selling it back to them at the high before they go through another, I'll call it intermediate to long-term correction. And that's all gold and silver at. It's just both in terms of time and price, an excellent opportunity. Let's go to now that we've looked at true money supply, let's go to, and that true money supply came from Peter de Graaf and von Mises.org.
Right.
The next one is from a good friend of mine, Nick Laird over at ShareLinks. Mm-hmm. And what he's done is he's put the gold market into perspective back to 2000 with confidence bands, trendline confidence bands. And put into proper perspective, really, we're just, retreating to the mean. Mm-hmm. It's really, as you can see, probably as good of a time to buy gold and silver as there has been in 10 years. And, it's drastically oversold. And, when you talk about gold and silver, how can you not talk about the breathtaking takedowns by the Chinese government? Their purchases of gold are up 600 or 700% in the first quarter.
Huge.
But so is Russia's and India's, and they play these days in these games. Okay, I mean, the Fed and the people that are doing the interventions are playing a game from years ago, and now the game's changed, and the people on the bid are not the same people that they used to, play like banjos. Mm-hmm. And we really, people are getting smarter. And, if you really want, as you can see, there's nothing wrong with this chart. It's absolutely the picture of health. But if we go to the next slide, which is slide 4, this spells doom. Mm-hmm. And it's doom for the banksters. Because you can see that where the gold flows are going, have quit going into the GLTs and the ETFs and that sort of thing. And those people aren't buying paper claims on gold anymore.
Right. What
they're doing is they have now, when they make their gold, all of the new, this is a shocking picture because, they came up with GLD and SLV just to take the demand out of the physical metal, so it wouldn't run away. But now, really, we can see since 2008, that game's over. Actually, 2009 was the peak.
Yeah.
But that game's over. The people buying GLD are the fools, and the fools are not fooled anymore. And
what did Lincoln say? You can fool some of the people some of the time, all of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time, right?
Yep. Well, it just is a wonderful time. Do not be afraid. Do not blink. Nothing has changed. The money printing that's required, it just gets bigger by the day. The insolvencies get deeper, and the insolvencies are in the places that have access to a printing press indirectly or directly. And these people will print it until people lose faith in it. You have to understand, during QE, they can never tell you that they're going to print forever. They will always put a date certain that they're done.
Yeah.
And then when they're done, say they're not going to do it again until they have to.
Right.
Okay, they have to. That's how you fight a rearguard action here. Okay, but this is a shocking chart, Kerry, where you see all of the gold demand going into physicals and not going into the ETFs or ETNs anymore. The next slide is from Sentiment Trader. This is from Hulbert. And as you can see here, had you been a seller of gold when this sentiment has been at this level any time in the last 5 years, you wouldn't have been a happy camper.
Yeah, you get burned. You get burned because it's the contrarians that pick up on this and they make the money.
They're just not going to let 90% of the newsletter writers be correct. It's only going to be 10% of them. Okay, I mean, the idea that 80% of the people can be winners and 20% can be losers is wrong. It's the other way around. Yeah. And but this really doesn't show you anything other than, if any time, it's the best buying opportunity since March of 2009 and early 2008, and we're making a double bottom, and I expect gold to rocket out of here.
Probably by the summer, huh?
Yeah. Well, I actually, this is on another subject, but I expect you see a coordinated QE announced between the ECB and the Bank of England and the Bank of Japan and the Fed in the next 30 days at the latest.
Ty, I used to be in the printing business, but unfortunately we didn't print money directly. We printed stuff that we sold for money. If you can print money up, boy, you can really do well through all economies, huh?
Well, especially if you're the guy who gets it first.
Yeah.
It's the guy who gets
the
it
bankster.
Last that gets it. Yeah, the bankster gets it first. The little guy gets it last. I was just actually speaking to my wife in China, and the Chinese people are being eaten up by inflation, eaten alive.
What's the real rate? Insider information here, insider economic information, because they're lying about the actual rate, which I think they said was around 5%. And food is going up enormously there, energy enormously. What's the true rate of inflation, as best as you can tell, Ty, if you have an opinion?
On meats and stuff, it's 100%.
Over what period?
The last 12 months.
Wow. That means that's like you going into McDonald's, buying a Big Mac for $3. I don't know what they are now because I don't usually get the Big Mac. I get fries, but you buy it for $3, and then a year later you come back and it costs $6, and you don't have any more money in your pocket to pay for it. So guess what? You have a lower standard of living because your money is worth less. Isn't that what it's all about, Ty?
Yes, and the United States has been printing money, and they've been exporting inflation. It used to go the other way. They used to export deflation, and now they're exporting inflation. So,
and just a word on that, okay? We got plenty of inflation here in the U.S. I filled up my tank the other day. Unfortunately, the car has a supercharger, so it requires premium gas. And Westchester County, New York, highest gas prices in New York State are among them. The only place you could find them higher is if you went to a little deserted village and you're just about to run out of gas and there's one guy there holding the pump.
The distinction for the highest price gas in the nation is Chicago.
Yeah, well, I paid about $4.65 a gallon for premium. It averages out a little cheaper, but I put in $84 of non-inflationary gasoline into my car. So I tend to think those numbers, the games they play, what do they call that? Harmonics? Hedonics. I always get those two confused. I tend to think that I'm being hedonically conned into believing there's no inflation, but we've got plenty, right?
Well, that's what the whole idea behind hedonics is, to fool the masses who can't distinguish between a headline and reality. Inflation is running away. I'm a very price sensitive shopper. I'm moving to Florida just to flee this area. No, inflation is galloping away, and it doesn't matter what you touch, your insurance, services, it's just radioactive. And of course it's going to get worse because they've got to print another 20 to 25 trillion dollars. Okay.
Yeah, over.
So the idea that they're done is
fiction. All right, next slide. What's our next slide here?
Next slide is another sentiment gauge from Jason Comfort and Sentiment Trader. I highly recommend it. It's just a fabulous program, and we're at a 1 decade low.
Yeah, see that? It's way low.
And I just can't say that there's just nothing wrong with this bull market other than the mainstream media is trying to scare you out of your gold and scare you out of your trades and do that sort of thing. But as to gold and silver, just it's a glorious day because it's the day when your worthless little pieces of paper buy a little bit more real money.
Yeah, amen to that, brother. And that's it for the slideshow. So the crux of all of this is that your cash is a little less trashy today. Have an opportunity to increase your purchasing power in precious metals, which, like you said, only comes along every so often. And to not take advantage of it really is a missed opportunity.
It's a glorious day. It really is. And don't be fooled. Nothing's changed. The big picture, if anything, is more bullish than ever.
Truer words, seldom spoken. Anyway, Ty, got to wrap up. Tedbits.com, traderview.com to hear this interview, as well as numerous other ones that Ty and I have done over the months. FinancialSurvivalNetwork.com. Also on YouTube, Financial Survival Net. On that note, Ty, we will be talking to you again soon, and it'll be interesting to see how fast those numbers pop up again once people realize what's really happening, won't it?
Yes, I actually believe you should be buying right into these lows with this Chinese central bank as your life preserver.
and the ultimate contrarian, or maybe they'll be the mainstream indicator shortly, but you know what's happening. It's the smart money, which usually when the dumb money pays attention to it, they lose money. But in this case, the smart money is picking the stuff up as fast as they can, as much as they can. And one other point I want to make, Ty, is even the banks that are printing the money in the West, I've heard it from a number of people. I sense it to be the case. They're picking up gold as well. At the same time, they're saying they're not. All right.
They're doing it for delivery. They're doing it for delivery, just like I showed in that graph.
They're doing it for delivery, but they're also putting some of it aside because when push comes to shove and the thing blows up, they know, just like the rest of the central banksters know, that will be the only real money. So
they're not stupid, just like J.P. Morgan Chase.
Yeah.
Gold is nothing. Gold is money and nothing else.
They're not stupid, and they have an agenda, and they're very devious, and they fooled you time and time again. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about you out there who are listening right now. Don't get fooled again, as I think it was the Who said. We won't get fooled again. Make today, May 9th, 2012, we won't get fooled again day. Okay?
Yep.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. And of course, we'll see you on the weekly wrap later this week.